Our next speaker is Dr. Vishnu Kupusamy Poundaraj. He is a senior consultant in cataract glaucoma services at the Eye Foundation Group of Hospitals at Salem, and he would be showing his case. On to you, Vishnu.
Good evening, expert panel, and thanks, madam, for the opportunity. I'll share my video.
Yes, sir.
This is the video of the normal cataract, which we see in the daily scenarios, where most of half our patients are like minimal cataracts with very soft nucleuses. So going on to the video straight away. So I'm just trying to create a bowl and use as much as the eyeball in the primary position, chip the anterior part of the epinucleus sheet just below the rhexis area. So as much as possible, rotate the nucleus, chip again, chip again. So you should be brave enough after creating a bowl to hold the nucleus in the front of the eyeball and chip, and try to not take the nucleus as such, even if it's so soft, not to bring it into the antechamber. The whole point of this video was that only. So chip as much as possible and then rotate, and then flip it, and with good retroillumination. This video is showing OmniGlow. OmniGlow is using in a very small microscope also, it's giving a good retroillumination. And then the cataract is emulsified within 45 seconds to 1 minute. Similarly, without OmniGlow also, we are able to make a good crater, almost presbyopic correcting IOLs also with no cataract also. Some patients where we just need to remove the softest of soft nucleuses, just chip away at the 3 to 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock position of the nucleus, again and again, making sure you're coming centripetally towards the center of the eyeball, rotating it again and again. So as much as possible, debulking it in the center, making it an epinuclear flap, and then rotating and flipping it and eating it. So this is the second video, almost took me 45 seconds to finish it off. So like hydrodissection is one of the things that's close to my heart, like good cortical cleaving hydrodissection, and then making as much of eating the epinuclear sheets and eating away the soft cataracts. So keeping the eyeball in primary position, this is a very old video where we are able to see after femtosecond laser, just the rhexis and then soft cataract, where we just hold the nucleus in front of eyeball, just chip, and then rotate. Use the left hand more than the right hand, and then centripetally moving the whole nucleus towards us. Like all the expert panel must be doing this, but the whole point was not to bring the hydrodissected into the anterior chamber. So when I see a lot of videos about anterior chamber phacoemulsification, I would like to go back to the chip, rotate, and flip the nucleus and be in the center as much as possible. Keep the eyeball in primary position and retroillumination. So repeating the hydrodissection post femtosecond laser or any PPC or anything also, guarded single wave hydrodissection is what I usually do. That's what Chitra Madam was saying, it was controversial. So still I go ahead with a good wave hydrodissection before nucleus removal, after nucleus removal also. So burping out the visco as much as possible, hydrodissection will be the key. So like everybody in the last 10 videos we have been seeing, bimanual eye irrigation aspiration has been very useful. So this is the last part of the video where I'm just trying to show the bimanual irrigation aspiration, how comfortably the eyeball is in primary position, and we can go ahead and remove the nucleus or polish in confidence and remove the anterior leaf of the nucleus in comfort. So these are the things like good retroillumination and hydrodissection was the main things I want to show in today's video, other than eating the soft nucleuses below the capsular rim. That's pretty much right.
Thank you very much, Vishnu. That was just another way to skin the cat. Going on to the expert panel, Dr. Mohan, Dr. Ramurthy, and Mahipal, and
very nice, Vishnu.
Yes.
Vishnu.
Yes.
Very nice video. The only thing is these cataracts, these chip and flip technique of what you have shown, or the spring surgery, will work only in very soft cataracts. We have cataracts which are in between, which are neither here nor there cataracts. So what do you do for that? It's very difficult. These cataracts don't suck, don't crack, don't chop. So yeah, these cataracts, in between cataracts, it's called NHNT cataracts. And yeah, these cataracts, what do you do?
They're not there.
It's a problem. So not
So,
these soft cataracts. Yeah, you just make a slightly bigger rhexis, and then you just exactly the same way you've shown the beautiful video as well, and especially the nozzle. If you keep it like that, and it will come off.
Yeah, so no, now flip technique is there, which is near about the same. The more to discuss, would you think of doing a hydrodelineation in a soft cataract, Dr. Mohan or Dr.
Yes,
Rahul?
yes, I will do a hydrodelineation, hydrodissection as well, both, unless otherwise it's not a posterior polar cataract. But hydrodissection, hydrodelineation, both I will do.
Nice demonstration, Vishnu.
Yes, yes, Ragini.
I was saying something, so let him finish and then I'll talk, ma'am.
Yes, Ramu. Yeah.
Oh, nice demonstration, Vishnu. I think, like Mohan was saying, this was what you're showing was essentially for soft cataracts, and many of these principles may not be applicable to the harder cataracts where too much phacopower will get used up in the anterior chamber otherwise. And I think the simple principles I follow is to make a fairly large capsular rhexis, do a good hydrodissection. I don't do hydrodelineation at all. The only place I do hydrodelineation is for posterior polar cataracts, because I feel if you do a hydrodelineation, simply increases the amount of work. You start to remove the nucleus and then you go after the epinucleus, etc. I want the entire lens to come in toto. And then the parameters I use have completely changed. I use fairly low power, but use almost 650 vacuum and 30-34. And just with the advanced machines, they just flows into the phaco needle tip with very little type. Sometimes you get the classical Carolus-Settling effect, or sometimes it comes in bits and pieces. Basically, these things come out without any phacopower happening in the anterior chamber. Only thing you have to be conscious of is that your irrigation port sometimes is pointing towards the endothelium. That also keeps, I keep it sideways. And I find that this works quite well. And but otherwise, what you showed is nice.
I think it's not the vacuum you need to increase, it's the aspiration flow rate.
No, I said 34 and 650.
A for us to be increased.
Yeah.
No,
Yes, Dr. Ragini, you add your word. Then we have 4 more.
Yeah, Dr. Vishnu, sir, he has shown a beautiful video. I think it is one of the techniques which is known for the soft cataract. But you know what I have done is, because I get very scared to make the bowl, because you know you don't know how deep you are, and at times you may be very close to the PC. So without doing that bowl, and the way he was carouseling the nucleus, you can go straight away for the nucleus without doing any chipping. And you can still be safe. And one important point that he mentioned is that he does this because he does not want to be above the iris plane, which does happen in the salute technique. But I think what he was showing later on, the carousel and, you know, doing the equator, and what Ramu sir said is that you need very little phacopower. You have to use a lot of viscoelastic. And I think the most important point Ramu sir said, which I learned when I started phaco, is that your the sleeve has to be such that all the fluid has to be directed sidewards. So even if the sister has put the needle, I always see to it when I go in that there is no turbulence or a huge jet directed towards the endothelium, which is extremely important. So I think I still like the salute, because I get scared with the bowl, because some parts of the nucleus may be eaten away completely and some there, and you know, so definitely this is only for soft cataract. It cannot be used for any hard.
If you do a hydrodelineation, the salute becomes easier, and the endonucleus just comes up, pops up, and you can put it. And then because you've already done a hydrodissection as well, the epinucleus also comes off.
So the hydro procedure has to be really perfect for these cases, because you know there is no distinction between the nucleus and the cortex. Everything is the same. So because in a harder cataract, the nucleus is compacted and the cortex would be different. But in these type of cataracts, the nucleus and the epinucleus and the cortex is of the same consistency. So a good hydro maneuver with a free nucleus is extremely important for success in these cases.
Exactly
So I
below
what
the
everybody
capsular.
mentioned and what Dr. Vishnu mentioned is very correct.
We shall now
Exactly
go
below
on
the
to our next.
capsular margin. Yes, ma'am. One last line if you want to add.
Yeah.
Exactly below the capsular margin, just below the above the epinucleus, like David Chang sir's cannula, or like Howard Fine says, cortical cleaving hydrodissection. So even if the nucleus is hard or soft, as much as possible, tenting up the anterior capsule and hydrodissecting first, like Ram Sumurthy sir said, no hydrodelineation.
Yes,
Only
go ahead.
cortical cleaving hydrodissection. will be a very comfortable solution for most of the cataracts, including a single wave for even a PPC patients, is what my earlier video was, which I didn't go ahead and put it.
PPC, I will not agree
That's
with.
my
No. That's why
True,
he
sir,
was,
true,
sir.
he was told
True,
to
sir,
withdraw
true,
that
sir.